yeah, they live together. They've got, they own a house. This girl, like, I don't think this is the girl he's cheating on her with, but I think there's definitely someone, because no one goes to a nightclub on their own and then sleeps in their car. Like, you don't get that drunk that you sleep in your car. Like, it doesn't make sense. But then you tell your parents that you stayed at a friend's house. Like, you don't have to tell your parents a lie so they're not worried that you're sleeping in your car. Like, you're how old? Like, I feel like you don't need to have an excuse for that. I don't think she's doing very well. But there was a Snapchat where she was, like, packing, like, on a Snapchat story. So if you follow her on Snapchat, go and have a look and you'll see it. And she's selling a house, so she's serious. Like, I think they're done. But he's definitely said he's not coming back to South Dakota. I just don't understand, like, what this is. Okay, because everyone's like, is there any proof that he's cheating or whatever? Like, I feel like the shoe thing is one thing. I've also seen, like, stuff that's obviously shows that he has been very unfaithful, like hard evidence, which I'm sure she'll share at some point. No, I haven't reached out to him. If I reach out to him, I'm going to reach out with my fucking fist. Like, oh, I hate him. Her Snapchat. What is her Snapchat? If anyone knows her Snapchat, can you comment it? I'll try and find out. But I don't know, just if you just put it all, like, sit there and you listen to, like, the baby side of it, like the baby passing and he doesn't come home, losing Graylin, doesn't come home, but just not messaging back for days. Like, you could look at that and be like, okay, well, it's, maybe it is a breakdown. But then to leave your phone at home when you go out to a nightclub, obviously he's done that, so she can't see he's gone to the nightclub. So if it was just a mental breakdown, wouldn't you just take your phone with you? Like, if you were just going there to drink and that's it, and you weren't worried, like, why would you be worried about your wife knowing where you are? I don't know. Is this recent, or has he been cheating on her for a while? I think there's been a few incidents, like, in the past where stuff has happened and then she's forgiven him, and then it's happened again. Like, I think he has a bit of an issue, honestly. He's always driving me crazy. Ivy blocked me a long time ago, sadly, so I haven't been able to really keep up with her. No one leaves their phone at home to go out. No, that is, like, the first thing you pack. Like, after your wallet, of course. If it's a mental meltdown, it could be bad, like gone manic or elsewise. You don't think properly. I mean, possibly, but, like, who goes on a manic episode that lasts 2 months? Anybody? Like, I feel like if you were on a manic episode for 2 months, you would have been institutionalized by now. It was mental meltdown. Oh, my heart is breaking for her. I know. Yeah. So you can, like, the TikTok she posted, you can obviously see it's taken a toll on her. But, like, what a dumbass. Like, he's such a dumbass. He knew. I really feel like he knew he was not coming back. I feel like he knew that. Like, he already planned that. And there was, like, a bit of discrepancies, like, where, he said one time frame he was coming home to Ivy, and then a different time frame for other people. So, like, he's been planning this for a while. So I feel like maybe, I don't know, you don't just up and, like, leave your family when things are good. You know what I mean? So I feel like maybe he might have been messaging someone, or he's gone out and he's met someone with, like, friends and stuff, and they've become friends, and then the baby's died. He's just gone into, like, a fuck the world sort of stance, and then he started seeing that girl, whoever the girl was, and they're keeping it from friends because obviously all his friends know that they're married and they're together. And that's why he's gone to the nightclub on his own, because maybe he's gone out with that person. Someone just tagged Ivy. We might be able to get some... Hi. Does anybody have any questions they want to have answered? I feel like now's the time to ask them. So, we're just going through I don't know if Ivy wants to answer any questions or not, but she's just joined the live. I don't know what to say, but there has been rumours, Ivy, that you and Atrayu are no longer together. Is that true? She is on the live. She's on the live now, but I don't know if she wants to answer or not. So I'll just ask. Yep. Yes. Jessica said, Ivy, you are far too beautiful and amazing to deal with anything other than the most amazing respect and love from a man. I agree. And, like, it's a hard thing now, too, because, like, every time, like, I think about, especially, like, imagine being, like, I think about every relationship, you know, when they end in the past, and at the time it is, like, the most earth-shattering thing, and then something better comes along, but you never feel like in that moment that thing's going to come along, and then they do, and you're like, I can't believe I was so upset about this. And, like, there's just so much, like, I've never dealt with this kind of emotional trauma all in one go. Like I said, it would be like having half your family lost. I love these messages to her, guys. That's really nice. Let me just read them. I messed up to tag her in this and ask her to talk when she's not ready. Yeah, I mean, she doesn't have to talk, obviously. If she doesn't want to talk, she doesn't have to. It was just if she wanted to address any of the questions. I might... Oh, there we go. Ivy said, I will address things when I'm ready, but right now I can't even process the loss of my daughter and son yet, let alone my husband abandoning us with no plans to return. Everything was fine when he left. So I feel like that suffices as proof that this is all happening. Like, I can't even imagine what you're going through right now. I can't even imagine it. Like, it makes me so angry. Like, reading about it, when I was first reading about it, I was just, like, heartbroken. Because I think everyone looks and they put themselves in that situation. They think, oh, my God, like, how could I get through this? But you have to remember as well that everything like this is always temporary. Like, if it's true that he has been this way for some time, this is probably the best thing that will come from this situation. You know what I mean? Obviously, everything else is fucking horrible. But, you know, it's probably going to save you a lot of heartache in the long run. Because sometimes you need that push, you know what I mean? Especially if stuff happens and you're like, okay, well, and, you know, I think a lot of the time we find excuses for someone that we love and we go, oh, well, you know, they're going through this, they're going through that. And then it gets to something like this. And I feel like if everything, you know, that we've been told is absolutely spot on, I feel like even if you did get back together, you could never forgive him for the things he's done. Like, even no matter how much you love someone, you could never ever let go of him not being there for your baby's birth, for him like neglecting you for that time. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to find a man that's going to be like, what a fucking coward. Like, that is not a man. That is a little boy. That's not how you look after a wife. Like, my husband was appalled. Like, when we first heard this was happening, and obviously we didn't post about it at that point, but we did hear that it was happening, and he was like, every day he'd come home and he's like, oh, you know, how's that girl doing? Like, you know, stuff like that. Like, he just couldn't get over the fact that he didn't come back for it. Like, it makes me really angry. Like, I'm actually sitting here sweating. Like, I'm getting sweat in between, you know, where your elbow crease is, because it makes me so furious. We can order an egg to egg his car. Donate eggs to egg his car. Like, it's probably a good thing that we are, like, on the internet and all spread out, because I feel like there'd be, like, an angry mob at Atrayu's parents' house, like, with pitchforks and torches. I think even, like, after this, you guys are all going to be in shock when stuff comes out of stuff that he's done. I don't think that Atrayu deserves Ivy as a wife. Like, for the stuff that I've seen that she has forgiven him for in the past, like, he is not deserving of her. There is no way. I would have fucking, like, no. I would have destroyed him a long time ago, but I know you love him, and that's what makes it really hard. But I think, though, as well, if all this is happening and there is, like, another girl on the scenes aside from this other crazy hoe, I feel like it's all going to come out, because once it's public and, like, Ivy does post about it, I really feel like people that are from that town that have, like, seen him, like, people are going to be like, oh, they're broken up, he's been in this town, like, is he, you know, I wonder if he is doing the wrong thing. And then, like, people are going to know from that town, and they're going to see him out. Like, I feel like I don't know, I feel like people are going to start, like, reporting seeing him in places and stuff, because, like, right now no one knew this was happening. No one knew that he was even not in South Dakota. You know what I mean? No one knew he wasn't there. And she has, like, all these followers. And if there's people, like, from South Dakota that follow her that were aware that this was happening, they'd probably more be likely to keep an eye out, or, like, ask a friend if they'd see him around or stuff like that. And then, I don't know, I just feel like it's all going to come out. There's going to be a lot more. Yeah, Ivy joined. Same, put your Cash App, please, Ivy. I want to give you either a coffee as a booster or something for a day off dinner. I mean, that would be really nice. If you can, definitely do that, because I'm sure people would love to. He doesn't deserve her or the kids. You don't do that to your family when so much heartbreaking shit is happening. There's no excuses. Right. There is, like, no time in any of this where I feel like he could have met someone where it's okay. Yeah, she did, Brie. No, that's okay. That's okay. Because, okay, guys, look back and think about this. This is what I am struggling with. If it was before he left, okay, he has a pregnant wife carrying their baby boy, okay? So if he was talking to someone before he left, and this is what upped him, like, this is what was the reason that he left, was to go over there so he could see this person in person, piece of shit. He has a pregnant wife carrying his baby boy, and they know that they have adoption issues with Gray, okay? She loses the baby. If it happened after then, piece of shit. Like, you've just lost your baby boy, and your wife was really ill in the hospital because of it. And you're just days away from losing your other daughter that you raised from a baby. That is your daughter. And then you've got, you know, even if it's happening now, it's even worse. Like, there is no point in time where any of this is okay. So she said, there has been issues in the past, but I'm still in shock. I'm grieving kids and my husband who doesn't want us. I'm going to hop off because now I'm crying. Oh, I'm so sorry. It like, guys, my heart is just breaking for her. Ugh. Are his parents sticking up for him, or are they trying to help Ivy through this? I don't know. I feel like his parents are enabling him. Like, come on. Like, I don't know how. My kids are only little, and I have boys, but I can tell you now, if my kids did this, I would not be happy. I'd be like, no, you're going home, you're going to sort your shit out. Like, if it's a mental breakdown, I'd get them rehab. Like, if they were cheating, I would kick their asses. I don't know. She does not deserve it. The last thing she should worry about is bills or shit. I know. And that's the thing too. Like, he's just left her with a massive house that she's going to have to pay for on her own. Like, that she's not going to be able to stay in that house, because I don't know how it would work. But that's a big house. I can imagine that would be a lot of money to pay for that. I would not give my kid a place to stay while he's abandoning his family. Me neither. I would keep my fucking kid in the car and I'd be like, right, little fucker, we are driving back there and you're sorting this shit out now. Like, I don't care if you hate me for the rest of your life. I raised a fucking man, not a little bitch. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how I would be. Did she see proof of him messing with another woman? Yes. Prior to this. So not during this, but prior to this, it's happened a couple of times. And then obviously we got this part. If we can donate money to Hale for leaving a toxic relationship, we can chip in to help Ivy have one less thing to stress over a month or so. I think we definitely could, absolutely. Can we send you money? You can give it to Ivy. Yep. Oh, baby. Wasn't he seeing someone before they got married? It makes me wonder how long he's been doing this for. Let me DM her and I'll get my other phone out and I'll just DM her while we're here. I don't know, because you guys have the fucking weirdest pay things over there. We don't have the cool apps you have. We're so, like, deprived. But we have the TWT Cash app, and I'm sure that Sam would be happy to collect funds on that and send it over. Or we could just get her direct. I think we'll try and get Ivy's direct Cash app, because that way you guys can leave, like, well wishes for her as well. And I feel like her getting to read that would probably, like, boost how she feels. Alright, I just DM'd her and she said she'll get back to me tonight because Elle's sick. Like, the baby's sick at the moment. So we can do that for sure. What happened with Atrayu? So Atrayu has fucked off to Alabama and he has not come back. So he's been gone since the 1st of January. And if, as you know, like, February is when Gray went. I think it was February 12th. And the baby passed, like, the week before that. Wasn't he there for the miscarriage or Gray leaving? No, he wasn't there for... Oh, that's right. You're just telling him that. Sorry, I'm like, no, he wasn't. He wasn't there. But I just realised that you were just declaring that. He's been gone that long. It's... What are we now? January 1st? So it's like over 2 months. 2 months. That's fucked. Like... I feel like I told you I didn't mean to tag her. No, it's okay. I think at least now she knows that it's sort of out there. And I'm sure she'll address it. Yeah, fucking tag that cunt. I mean, sorry. That bastard. I know. And that's the thing, like, I know that she probably does feel embarrassed, but she shouldn't. Like, don't feel embarrassed. Like, you've done nothing wrong. Like, you've done everything right. And he's the one that's done the wrong thing. Like, I don't care what mental breakdown you're having, if that's the case, if, you know, whatever. That doesn't condone the stuff he's done before now, so it's not like we're just going with something with little evidence. Like, you know, we've kind of worked out how Atrayu swings now. Yeah, she's selling the house, packing up on her own, mind you. Yeah, he's probably turned his phone off. What a fucking shit heap. Like, why why wouldn't you just... I can't work out if I want to, like, punch something. So there's one other thing that I had to say to you guys. Wish I had my headphones. I'm sorry. I'm really bad. Like, even when I'm talking to my mum's like, okay, I have you on loudspeaker now. So I stop swearing and I always forget. Oh, you found it? I did. So, there's one other thing that we haven't discussed yet, and that's Brookson. So, they are 100% losing Brookson. Like, 100% they know that they're going to have to give him back. So that's like 3 children. They're getting rid of the house for sure. Oh, yeah. The house is only Ivy's, though. He just lives there. Like, she owns the house. Yeah, Brookson has to go. And I don't know, look... I tell you, there is no one on this planet that is more suited to have Brookson than Ivy. Look how far he's come. Like, I remember when he was a baby and he would just cry and cry. He was so miserable. And, like, now, like, the interactions that he has, you can see he's definitely, like, a mama's boy. I know, it's going to be like the last 5 years of her life have just been wiped. Except for she's going to have Elle, obviously. Yes, Jessica. That a girl. So, I don't really know, like, I don't know if I'm telling the whole story correctly or not. But with Brookson, originally, it was the same thing. So, these people that Ivy got the kids off. So you've got obviously Gray, and Gray's mum was from the tribe. The dad, who they thought was the dad at the time, like, he signed off. I don't know if he signed off, but he was happy for her to be adopted, right? So they knew it was like tribal, but they were like, okay, because like both the parents agree with it, they thought they could get, like, the lawyer to write that up, but apparently, like, none of that works legal. Like, I don't know why the lawyer did this, but they thought it would cover them, and obviously it didn't cover them. But the reason was the dad that was actually the person they thought was the dad wasn't actually the dad. It was someone else. But the mother was like, oh, no, it can't be anyone else. There's no one else. It's just only this guy. They always say that, right, until they're proved wrong. It's like Bella. You know, I don't know, it can't possibly be anyone else's baby, and then it turns out it is. So that's what happened there. With Brookson's mum, and, like, obviously that dad wanted him. With Brookson's mum, she was seeing, like, 3 guys. She was married to a guy, and then she was seeing another guy, and then she had, like, another fling with the other guy. And honest to God, one of the dads, like, the possible dads, like, he looked just like him. I'm telling you. Like, I posted pictures and he looked just like him. But apparently the DNA came back and he is not the dad. And the dad is this other fella. It's not the one that she's married to. So there was the dude she married. There was this other fella called Cody. And then there was another fella she was with. So she left the guy she married to go to the other guy. It's really confusing. So I'm sorry if I get this wrong. And honestly, like, I thought that Cody guy had to be the dad because they looked exactly alike. Like, they look so alike, it's uncanny. The DNA test come back and it seems that it's the other guys. And he is the one that wants Brookson. And he's the one that's not really... He doesn't have a very good reputation from what I've seen. Like, I think he's been in a couple of domestic violence situations and stuff. But he wants Brookson, and I think they've just found out that, well, I mean, Ivy's handling everything on her own, so Brookson will be going as well. So, even with Gray, they knew Gray was going for a while, but they just didn't have, like, dates and stuff like that, so... I feel like sick in my stomach. It's making me feel really unwell. Which guy is the one in the military? I don't know. Not sure. Because remember, everybody thought that Ivy bought a house for Brookson's mum, but that was not the case. What happened was she got back with her husband and the husband bought a house. So that's why everyone was like, oh, because she moved into this new house. I was like, oh, new house. And everyone was like, oh my God, Ivy must have bought it for her. But that's not what happened. And people think, like, because I know everyone's like, oh, you don't get babies off IG, but she knows these people. Like, she's known, like, I think Gray's mum, they live in the same area. And, like, they went to school with all, like, the same people. And, like, I think I don't know if I was going to say her name. Might have to blur that out for the video, for the YouTube. I don't even know what time we're up to on the video, but I'll work that out. But they've been following each other on Instagram for, like, ever. Like, I think they've known each other for, like, 5 years or something. I know. Can you imagine what this is doing to Aslan and Kez? Like, how confusing for them. They've already lost a sibling, like, when they lost M. You know, that would have been so heart-wrenching for them. And then to have your friend, like your sister who's like your little bestie for 5 years, and then they get taken, and then, like, you know, if Brookson gets taken, and then you don't even have the person that's been there as your dad, that's meant to be united front, and he's not there to, like, explain it to them. Like, I can't even... those kids are going to need some therapy, poor darlings. What happened? So Atrayu and Ivy are no longer together, it seems. Like, he's just left and he's not coming back. No. And Brookson's going too. It'd be like you're mourning the loss of half your family. I know A and K are okay. They have a mum who is there for them and loves them. Honest to God, like, I know I posted it the other day, and Aslan's dad is, like, I don't know, like, I know that there was a lot of issues back then, but, I mean, he took both the girls out to the dinosaur thing. Like, I think that's amazing to take, like, he's taken his child, but he's also taken Kez and took him out for the day while Ivy's recovering. Like, I feel like that's what a man does. You know what I mean? Like, did he even tell her why he's left them? Like, what the fuck? Who just ups and leaves? Nah. He was going there to work for a month, and then he was going to be coming back, obviously, before Gray was taken, and then he just never came back. Yeah, I don't think you could ever fault him as a dad. Like, I know that they had, like, a lot of petty stuff in the past, and that's what happens, you know what I mean? Like, when you're young and you're with someone and you break up, it's like the petty remains. But they seem to have, like, gotten way past that on, like, a good terms. And I mean, pretty amazing that he took Kez out. Like, you got to hand it to him. You can't really knock the man. That's a good dude, exactly. Like, he did not need to do that. They're officially taking Brookson too. I don't know how long until that's happening, but it's definitely happening. Coward, yep. And, like, where is he? Like, he's nowhere to be seen. I don't care, like, what sort of mental issues you're having. Like, you know, she's there dealing with it. Like, how are you going to sit there and say, oh, I'm having mental issues and I'm, you know, can't handle this, I'm not coming home. Like, I reckon Ivy will do just good without him. Yeah, she does have a different IG. She has, like, a private one as well. I think that's where the dinosaur one come from. Because she posted a picture and it was Andrew with just the two girls. But look, the way... Yeah, Atrayu left. The way... Yeah, she had... Well, I think her mum and her sister were there with her. But, yeah, it doesn't even count. Your husband should be there for that. Everyone lied about who the dad was and the bio dad wants him, yeah. So what they had, I think for the adoption, what they had to do is they had to prove, like this other guy came in kicking up a fuss and he was like, I think he's mine. So then they had to get the DNA test to prove it or something. And the DNA test came back saying that he was the other guy's. But I don't think this guy knows what he's in for, because I don't think that Brookson will cope with anyone else. Like, look how far he's come. Like, he went from, like, this child that was so miserable, hardly spoke, and now, like, he responds to Ivy. He's smiling. He's happy. You know, like, we won't say they, because Atrayu is a shit heap, but she has worked so hard with that kid, and I just don't think there is anyone else could put in that work with him. Honestly, I'm glad he wasn't there. He's probably had been on his phone or just absent anyways. Better out of the picture all the way. Yeah, I mean, I know right now that it was probably heartbreaking for her, but I think when she gets through it, she'll be like, you know, she'll be happy that it happened rather than having that same heartbreak over and over. No. There's such a huge change for Brookson. It won't even be worth it. I don't think that he's going to be able to cope. Like, I just don't think he'll be able to cope in that different situation. You know, like, he was brought up as a baby from them, and even with them, you know, at first he was not interacting and he would cry a lot because he couldn't communicate and stuff, and they've gotten this far with him, and then you're going to up him and they're going to undo all the hard work that they did. I wonder if he'll try to get half custody after all is said and done. Atrayu. Well, I don't know. I think Ivy probably will have to move there anyway. For Elle. I don't know. I think Atrayu, I reckon what's going to happen is whoever, if he, like, I don't know. We can't prove he's, like, seeing someone in that town right now. He's obviously not talking to the Texas girl because she's, like, nowhere near him. But, you know, obviously if he's going to see someone, he's going to see someone locally. And we can't prove that he's seeing someone right now locally. We just know this other stuff that's happened in the past. But if he is, which is what I assume, I'm just going to say that's what my thoughts are, I think he is. If he is, I think, like, at some point they'll have, like, an argument, and then he's going to try and take Ivy, like, he'll try and get Ivy back. Because I feel like he's gotten back in the past, so he's going to try that again. Define cheating for you. Some people would say it's cheating, some people wouldn't say it is, but definitely emotionally cheating. I think sending nudes and stuff is cheating. So, yeah. She wouldn't have to move. Kid was born there and has been there the whole life as well as his dad. I think the problem is, though, they have a massive house, and I don't think that she'd be able to pay for it all on her own, as well as, like, you know, the kids and everything else. So I think that's... And then if she's going to move, I don't know. I'm not really sure. I'm sure she'll tell us what's happening there. But it seems like she's packing. So I know she's selling the house. Whether she's going there or where she's going, we don't really know. Losing is so tough on both sides. A dad was cheated out of knowing his baby from birth, and a family wanting a son was cheated out of being able to keep him. Right. I can't, like... I really think it's a shitty behalf of his mum, like his bio mum. I think that's really shitty because, I mean, if you think there's a chance that someone else could have been the dad, she could have stopped all this heartache. You know, just been honest. If she was honest, you know. I think emotional cheating is still cheating as well. Yeah, I agree with you, Rebecca. No, Gray didn't go to the bio dad, but he went to the bio dad's family. So the bio dad wants her, but he has, like, a bunch of his own kids. So the court didn't actually give him custody. He gave his family member custody. So that makes me question, was he talking to Sierra when she sent him those nudes? That will be an interesting one when it all comes to light, because I'm sure it will. I mean, remember when Sierra was like, you know, if I wanted him, I could have him, blah, blah, blah. Who stays at someone's house and then sends them a nude of you? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how I didn't get up and beat the crap out of that. I mean, fuck. Sorry, guys. Yeah, he's the type of partner Sierra deserves, exactly. Honestly, I don't think Preston's any better. The bio-mums are the worst, I know. But I think at the time as well, like, you just want that baby to love, and you just, like, you probably might overlook a couple of red flags. Well, like, especially if you've known them for so long, you wouldn't think that they would be dishonest. Like, how do they go, oh, yeah, well, it probably could be that guy as well. Like, fuck. When you are told, like, is there a possibility it could be anyone else? Name the fucking guys that you've been, like, 2 months prior and 2 months after, just in case. You know what I mean? Unless Atrayu was leading her on, sounds plausible, but still scummy on Sierra's part too. Right. But I mean, you know, if I went to my friend's house and her husband was messaging me, I'd be like, I'd be out of there. There's no way. I would tell her straight away. Losing the children graze on the lawyer. They knew. They just filled Ivy with false hope, yeah. The bio mum knew the possibility and lied, and for the miscarriages, that's no one's fault. I mean B, not G on that last one at the end. So, okay, ages and ages ago, it came out that Sierra had been sending nudes to Atrayu. I believe it was Snapchat. So when Corey and Sierra were dating, they went on a holiday with Atrayu and Ivy and then went and stayed at their house afterwards? Or did just Sierra stay afterwards? I think they all stayed afterwards. This is so long ago, I can hardly remember. This is why I have to keep screenshots. And Atrayu, apparently, not Ivy, Sierra was sending nudes to Atrayu, like, in their bed. Like, not in their bed, but in their spare bed, obviously. And she was like, who goes to someone's house and sleeps nude in their bed? It's fucking weird. Especially when it's Sierra. I don't want to clean your shit off my sheets. My thing is, how don't you know how many guys you slept with in a short period of time? Yeah. Oh, it was just Sierra stayed. Yeah, I remember there was pictures because the pictures got uploaded onto, I think, Sierra's exposing page, and she was, like, taking pictures of her laying in bed, but apparently she was sending those to Atrayu. And she was, like, bragging to people, saying, oh, I could have Atrayu anytime. Like, if I wanted Atrayu, I'd have him or something, when it all went down, because she got called out for it. So I don't know if maybe there was, who knows, there might have been other discussions before then. Don't know. But now, like, it makes you doubt everything now, hey? It's like, okay, well, what else has he been up to? A high key wish Ivy would have adopted Zai. Same. Zai deserves so much better. Like, you cannot, I don't care what anyone says, like, about Ivy, stuff that's happened in the past. She's had a fucking tough run. Like, she's a tough run. Like, from that last sucker that went off with her bridesmaid or whatever. And Sierra is friends with that skank. You know she would have reached out and been like, oh, hey, let's be BFFs because I don't like Ivy either because I'm a skank too. Oh, Beth, you missed a lot. The TikTok about her friend's man trying to get with her was about him. Oh, yeah, absolutely it was. And, like, Atrayu must be a fucking dumbass. If you're going to go and message someone's friends, like, there's plenty of women in the world, if you want to cheat, like, wouldn't you just, like, you know, pick someone that doesn't know your wife? Like, he obviously doesn't understand the Instamum community. I know. She is a really good mum. Like, you can't fault her there. And, like, even through all of this, she's held it together. Like, you know, she went and she packed Gray's bags, and she's, like, cleaned up the room, and she's been dealing with this shit on her own. Like, she's had to do all of this on her own. So the cliff notes, I think the cliff notes are pretty long too. There you go. Atrayu effed off. So Atrayu left on the 1st of January to go and work for his parents and go hunting. He didn't come back. Even knowing Gray was going, he stayed there all of January. Ivy lost her baby, rang him, said that she'd lost the baby, and he did not come home. For the birth, like, there was 2 days he could have come home for the birth, didn't. She was, like, really unwell, hemorrhaging and stuff like that, had to have surgery, still didn't come back, turned his phone off for 4 fucking days while his wife was going through all of this, refused to, like, talk about Waylon, it's Wylan or Waylon? How do you actually pronounce it? I think it's Wylan. You guys say everything funny. But, yeah, and then left her there to cope with everything, like ordering the urn for their baby and picking up his remains, and then having to send Grayland off, and then like packing up her room and her old baby crib and packing all the stuff, like just left her to everything. And then it was found out that he like, she found a receipt in emails that showed he bought some woman a pair of kids' shoes during this time, which is fucking weird. Like, you know, you can't send your wife flowers for Valentine's Day or even a fucking text message to say, you know, I hope you're okay, or, you know, you really should be coming home. But, you know, you can't send an I love you message to your phone for 4 days, but you can send some random bitch a pair of shoes for a kid. Waylon. Oh. Okay. I always go between Waylon and Wylan, and I don't know why. I thought it was Wylan, but she should look at phone records if she hasn't already. I think he has a burner phone. He, like, yeah, I don't know. He's a sly motherfucker. This is so sad. I hated him the moment they got together. He tried to fuck other Thrive. I do wonder too if maybe she might have overlooked a couple of red flags at the start. Like, I know he has, like, that charming personality and he's, like, flirty and stuff, which, you know, when you're young, you're like, oh, yeah, and you really, really like them. And then when you sort of get to your mid-20s and you're, like, looking for a prospective guy, you kind of know you probably don't want to be with that sort of person, because you know that they're always going to be that way. They're always going to be flirty and that way. So you kind of think, well, if that's not something I'm going to like later on, because, you know, I'm not here to change anyone when I'm dating them. Like, I want them, like, I don't want to change people. So if I see that behaviour and I'm like, that's not really what I would deal with later on, I just ditch them. And I feel like with everything that happened with Nick and stuff, and she just, you know, you don't want to be in that situation. You don't want to think about what Nick had done to her, and it would have been nice having someone to escape to, and, like, maybe there was some characteristics she might have overlooked at the time. I don't know. She'll find someone who truly sees and respects her word. Atrayu isn't that person and never was. Atrayu is the male version of Brittany. You are not wrong. He's a shitball, so full of himself, it just gives super icky vibes. Disappeared during a huge crisis. Yep. It's worse than cheating. Even if she found it within herself to forgive him and he was like, I want to come back, let's, like, make things work. Deep down, I feel like you could probably never forgive someone for abandoning you at a time like that. Like, there is so much trauma there. And, like, it's not even over yet, you know what I mean? Like, there's still that stuff to come. The stuff about Brooks and, like, oh, That's horrible. How do you forgive that? She needed her husband. Those were his kids too, and he didn't care. It would be like, you know, when you have those dreams about your partner, and like, you know, in your dream, they're like, they don't respond to you and they ignore you and they're nasty and they do things that they would never do in a million years in real life. Like, have you ever had those dreams where, like, I had one the other night and it was like, we're at like a poker event. It's probably something to do with Brett and Juliana, honestly. If you know dreams, let me know. But, like, I had this dream that we were at like a poker event and my husband won like $10,000 and I was still playing, and so he was like, oh, I'm going to have a drink with these people or whatever. There was like people that we play with. So I was like, okay, yeah, no worries. And then he left. And then, you know, I met up with him later and he'd gambled like the whole 10 grand through pokies. Like, my husband does not play the pokies. And he was like shouting the bartender, and then I found out like he hooked up with the bartender and all this stuff. And then like I would try to talk to him, and like my husband, if I had any issues with anything, like he would just respond to me, you know, he would never ignore me. And like he'd ignore me, and he wasn't like, he just lying to me. And like I woke up and I was like, oh my God, like I wanted to punch him in the head, you know. I was like, dream you's a head. And that would never happen in real life, but I was thinking like, this is exactly what she's actually going through. And I think about how distressed I woke up from that dream in. Like, I was so stressed out and I just think, oh my God, like she's actually going through that worst nightmare scenario, and it's so shitty. So Elle's going to the ER right now. But we will organise that Cash App with her later. I'll just give her a break. I think she's So just for anyone, we were on there before, and now, I just want to put this out there that Ivy has not asked anyone for any money or anything like that. That's definitely not the case. There was just some people on the live that wanted to, like, send her a coffee and just, like, nice messages and stuff. So that's why I wanted to get the Cash App for the people that asked for it, so that we can put it on the page. And if someone wants to send her a coffee and just, like, a well wish or something, like, maybe they might want to send her something for, like, some chocolate for the kids or something, or maybe, you know, something for the kids to do. I don't know. Like, maybe they can get pizza or something. I don't know. Just so that she knows people are thinking about her. Because I know she has, like, a lot of supporters on this page. Did she come to you and tell you all this? No. So we have, like, a mutual friend that follows her, follows me, chats to her, chats to me. And they told me everything. And then someone tagged Ivy on the live, and she came to the live and she confirmed it and said she's not ready to address everything just yet, because there's obviously a lot. I'm sure, I think we're all going to be blown away when it does get confirmed, though. Not confirmed, but like when we do find out everything that's going on. And I think a lot more will come to surface too once it's known that they're, you know what I mean? Because I'm wondering if, because he didn't accept that stuff on his timeline. So, like, if you look on Ivy's page, and she has posted a lot of stuff about, like, the baby and stuff, and she's obviously tagged Atrayu. But then you go to Atrayu's page, and he hasn't accepted anything on his timeline. So maybe he's, like, met someone and then doesn't want them to see that. Like, maybe he's like, oh, you know, we're in the process of separating or something, and he hasn't accepted on his timeline, because they'll be like, what the fuck, like, you're just having a baby, like, your wife's just lost a baby and you're talking to me? Like, surely if this girl knows that his wife has just had a stillborn baby and she's talking to him, then she's a fucking skank too. Yeah, it's horrible. Alex, someone comment to Alex that I'll be posting it on YouTube so she can watch it later. I'm hoping I can figure out by people's comments. Yeah, someone comment to Alex and explain. I think I can write a comment. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Thank you. Oh, fuck, how do I get down? Yeah, there we go. Sorry. Oh, my God, I'm like a granny using Instagram, guys. Like, the other day, if you were on my Instagram, you would have laughed so hard because I went live and I invited like 50 people and I didn't realise that I wasn't actually inviting them to watch. I was inviting them to come onto my live. And I had like random people popping up going, hi, did you mean to add me? I was like, oh, I'm so bad at this. But yeah. I hope he just gets like ran off Instagram. I don't understand as well though, like why women see this and they know he's obviously got a wife because everybody knows who they are. He knows she's got a wife. Like, what woman is going to hang out with a guy? Like, even if I met a guy and he's like, oh, me and my wife are separating, she just lost a baby, I'd be like, okay, another time, man. Like, I wouldn't want to get involved in any of that while they're still healing. One, you're just a fucking rebound anyway, so, like, what are you doing? And, like, he's obviously really sly with his words and stuff. Like, just some of the stuff I had read where he was, like, apologising to stuff that he's done in the past. And I was like, he's smooth, you know what I mean? Like, he makes it believable. I don't think this is his first rodeo. He's done it before. I hope he gets a good case of limp dick, yeah. We need to message Courtney and be like, hey, Courtney, can you teach us how to do that thing with salt that you did the other day? We want to put a hex on Atrayu. Witchy poo. The girl must be so desperate. Yep, exactly. On a side note, super happy I was able to catch you on your lives in action. I usually have to watch them on YouTube, which I don't mind. Do you know what, guys? I am devastated because obviously we deemed Coco no longer an Insta mum, and that's why she's been going on her other page. Like, she's so desperate, and it's so hilarious because, like, we can read her every move. Like, she goes on her lives and no one goes on there because no one gives a fuck, right, on her main page. And so she goes and jumps on her live for her page that's open to everyone. She doesn't block anyone because she's like, oh, I've got a message for you, Hale, basically. Like, she doesn't say that, but you know she's going on there because she wants to get a message out to Hale, and she knows, like, no one gives a fuck about her other page now. That Courtney comment you said just took me out. That's true. So then she goes on the Raw Alignment Healing or whatever it's called, and she's like, oh, it's so desperate for attention. It's like, Courtney, for fuck's sake. My husband is like, you need to do another live and just name it The Turd That Won't Flush. I'm like, I know. But I'm pissed because the last live that we did, I'm going to have to redo it because I didn't have the microphone turned on, did I? So it was recording and it's literally like 3 hours of no sound. I'm like, you fucking twat. What is wrong with you? And it was a good live too. We had many, many jokes. It was great. But there's like a couple more lives that she done that we could probably talk about. But I don't really want to give her the attention. That's the only thing. So we might like film it on the other page and just not worry about putting it on YouTube because we know she doesn't have access to the other page. But she literally does it like on that healing page because she wants to get the message to Hale. Like, someone commented it and they're like, oh, is he still trying to contact you? And she's like, no, I haven't heard from him in like ages. But like, you know, he thinks that he's going to have Shiloh and he doesn't. He's never said that. Like, he's literally like, I'm walking away from both of them. Like, I don't want, and she's here like trying to respond. And if you look at the paperwork, like, I screenshotted and like went into the paperwork and you could see in the paperwork, it's literally stuff I've said. Like, one's a title saying like, should CPS be called on Courtney, right? And she's taking that in as evidence against Hale. Like, Hale didn't say that, you f***head. I said it. Like, and then like she complains about when she had her last thing with Mel. Like, it got continued so many times. Like, if you look at her court thing, you look at his, like, he's got one listing and hers is like 40 listings because she's such a and she's like, you know, oh, 500 pieces of paper got thrown out. I can imagine it's probably because they were irrelevant. Like, she can't take all this stuff and screen recordings of what I've said and be like, he's harassing us. He hasn't spoken to you in over a month, Courtney. Like, he doesn't want, and she's like, you know, I need to finally be rid of him. And I'm like, he doesn't want anything to do with you. Like, if he hasn't spoken to you in ages, and then you're bitching because he's talking about you on a page, like, no. So we're talking about Atrayu. Well, we're talking about Courtney now, but the live is about Atrayu and Ivy. So Atrayu's done the dirt, like pulled a bit of a sly, dirty one, and said he was going to work at his mum and dad's. He left on the 1st of January. He has not been back. He was not back for the birth. He was not back for Grayland when she was returned to the tribe. They're now having issues with Brookston, and Brookston will be taken as well. And so, yeah. I just have to tell my husband, and my husband's coming in. So, babe, I'd ask you a question. You're on live too. I just thought I'd let you know, so don't be too nasty. But tell me what you think about this. All right, so apparently, you know how Atrayu hasn't been back in like since the 1st of January through like the baby's birth and everything like that, right? Mm-hmm. So my husband, like, he knows all of it because I tell him as Ivy's friend tells me. But she found an email in like their emails where he had bought like kids' shoes for a woman, right? Which was last month, so it was when he was away. Right. So didn't send her Valentine's anything for Valentine's. Turned it, like, hasn't been talking to her. You've seen what it's been like. Yeah. Has not spoken to her, won't reply to messages and stuff. But he bought some random woman shoes for their kid. Yeah. And there's no history in the messages between the two of them, so it's obviously been deleted. Mm-hmm. Would you randomly buy a pair of shoes for some other woman's child? No.
Not unless it was a friend that...
Yeah.
You know, a friend who, for some reason, needed me to buy them shoes.
Yeah, I know. But, like, even then, you'd probably mention it to me. You'd be like, oh, hey, I bought such and such shoes.
I bought someone shoes today.
Right?
Random story. Someone needed some shoes.
Like, that's got to be sus.
It is sus.
And then you wouldn't be, like, deleting all your messages between the two of you to be like, and then be like, oh, like, he doesn't have fucking telepathy. Like, how's he just know to buy this woman's shoes?
Yeah.
That's fucked, right? And guess what? So just found out Brookson's being removed as well. What? Remember they had that problem with the other adoption and the dad? The DNA test came back and it was the other guy, so now she's losing Brookson as well. So literally 3 kids within a couple of months and a husband he just said he's not coming back.
I don't know what she's done. She's upset someone, the poor girl.
It's fucked, isn't it? I just don't understand it. Like, if I was to be pregnant and I lost a baby, and you were, say when we had our first, and you were in the mines...
Where I was, I would pack up whatever I was doing and I would come back as soon as you were even thinking of going to a hospital.
Yeah. Even before we probably knew that.
If you were sick, I wouldn't go away.
Yeah, I know.
If it was that close to a baby being born, I wouldn't go.
Well, it wasn't that close because she was 24 weeks or something. He was already away. But if you were already away...
Well, you'd pack up and come home, wouldn't you?
I know. And who turns their phone off for 4 days when their wife's hemorrhaging in the hospital? It's fucked.
It's ridiculous.
We're trying to get a cash app so that people can send money and well wishes to her.
Big bouquet of flowers or something, let's say.
Yeah.
Chocolates.
It's so sad. And Elle's really sick too. The baby. Like, I just don't even know how to... Oh, my God. Courtney's just gone live, guys. Anyway, I've got to jump off because I'm actually about to go to an appointment, and that's why my husband's home, because he's going to take me. So I'm going to jump off, but I will find out that GoFundMe when... If I can get a hold of her later on. I'm sure that she has other things to attend to if Elle is unwell. But I will do some posting on the way over to my appointment, and I'll chat to you guys soon, okay? I will save this, and I'm going to put it on YouTube. I just have to blank out a couple of names that I accidentally said and a couple of C-bombs I dropped, and then I'll post it onto YouTube, guys. And she's on the raw alignment healed one, I think. Anyway, Anyways, I'll post some stuff about it on the page, but I'll get this uploaded onto YouTube, and I'll see you on TWT 5.0. Bye, guys.